Okay. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Michaela, if you didn't know that, and if you're new, welcome, welcome, welcome. Today I want to talk about my postpartum. I posted on Instagram saying you wanted to see my postpartum, so a few of you said yes. So let's talk about it. I'm gonna get into like the nitty-gritty of it. So if you want to see this video, please continue on. Okay, so I'm going to talk about my 8-week postpartum of my son. So let's talk about a couple hours after I had my baby. They check your cervix. They check your uterus and your stomach. They like massage it and see if it, like they're trying to see if it goes back to in place. And she couldn't feel mine. And as she's pressing down, I'm bleeding a little more than she likes. So she wanted me to go back on Pitocin. And those who didn't see my last video, I was induced. You can watch the other video. I'll link it somewhere. They give me Pitocin, and she told me it was going to be a little crampy, but it was nothing like, you know, what they do to stimulate labor. It was just a tiny bit crampy. It wasn't bad. I was on Pitocin for, I think, a couple hours. That was even longer that I couldn't stand up because I was numb. Also, on top of that, they wanted me to finish a whole bag of Pitocin. And they wanted to check and see if my uterus was back to place before I even stood up, because you do lose a lot of blood during giving birth. And they just want to help you up and make sure everything is okay and stuff. So after that, they checked my uterus again, and it was back to normal, but I was still bleeding a lot. But they weren't really concerned because there was no golf size, yeah, I think she said golf size clots. She says, let me know if there's any golf size clots. And there was one, and I called the doctor. I was like, there's a golf size clot, golf size clot. And they're like, you're fine, you're okay, everything's fine, it's fine, you're okay. And I asked them, I said, what happens if I'm bleeding more than usual? They're like, okay, well, we can give you medicine in your IV, more Pitocin, like you just get more Pitocin, or they can give you like a pill to stop the bleeding. And they weren't really concerned about anything, but of course for postpartum they check your blood pressure and they check your heart rate and they check to see if you have a fever. They came in every 2 hours and they drew my blood multiple times to see if all my levels were back to normal, because of course you lose a lot of blood, and I did lose a lot of blood during giving birth. So that was that. I remember the next day, the day before, I was flat. I did not get swollen. Like my stomach was like flat, and my face, I didn't get swollen. Anywhere didn't really get swollen. At the end of my pregnancy, I really didn't get swollen at all. Some people do. I really didn't. And during labor, I really didn't get swollen at all. But the next day after, my stomach was like swollen. It was like, it looked like, again, I was like, they say you look 6 months pregnant, but what I look like at 6 months pregnant is how I was extremely tiny at 6 months pregnant. So I looked like about how I looked when I was 6 months pregnant. I was a little swollen, but it was like nothing that I was really concerned about, or they were concerned about, or any of that. So you stay there. I had my baby on the 20th. I came back the 22nd, the day he was supposed to be born. And that day, the next day, so I had my baby on the 22nd. The 22nd. I had my baby on the 20th. The next day, the 21st, I felt all the pain. I could not walk. I was limping, and I was dizzy, which they told me that was just maybe because you lost so much blood. And the adrenaline of having your baby, because I was also shaky on top of that. Like, even the night before, I was shaky on top of that. So they were like, it's just because, your hormones are coming down and everything's coming down, so you're still shaky. And I was like, okay. Because I felt also very warm, but I didn't have a fever. So that was a good thing. And my blood pressure was good, so they weren't concerned. They were like, you're fine, pretty much. So yeah, also the next day, I really couldn't walk. I said that, but I had a secondary tear and an episiotomy. Of course, you know, you have to get stitches for that. And I was limping for 4 weeks, almost my whole postpartum. I would walk upstairs, because I live upstairs, one step at a time. Like I couldn't walk normal. And I couldn't sit in a chair like this. Like right now, I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that. I had to like sit on my side and like hold myself and wear slippers because shoes were like too hard like I couldn't feel the floor. I had to have like a cushion to help me walk. And it was just, I was in pain. They asked me if I wanted like really like a hard painkiller. I forgot what it was called at the time. But I went for an ibuprofen, and the ibuprofen did not work too well. It made the pain manageable. So yeah, that was that. But let me tell you what I used for postpartum, because I know everybody's different. I used the hospital underwear. I didn't mind the hospital underwear. So, people told me that they hate them. I personally liked it. They weren't bad to me. Like the underwear, it wasn't bad to me. And I also used the hospital pads, the really thick ones, because I was bleeding a lot and they wanted to, and I didn't want to bleed all over the place, so I just used those, but I used 2 of them. And I also used a bottle, but the bottle I used was Frida. It was a Frida bottle. It was probably the best purchase I made. Because it was just like easy, because it's like has like an angle to it. If you know what a Frida bottle looks like, it has an angle, so it can angle. Like you don't have to like really try with the hospital ones, because the hospital ones are just like a squeeze, and this one has like an angle and it like kind of goes like that. So it's easier to like, but I filled it up with warm water and just sprayed myself. And I also used the witch hazel wipes that they give you to put in your underwear for the first 24 hours, because it helps the healing of the stitches. And I used the Dermoplast kind of spray, the cooling spray that they give you at the hospital. And my hospital didn't really give me a bunch of stuff. I got like 1 can and one container of witch hazel wipes, because they told me that the first 24 hours is the most important to help the healing of the stitches. But they gave me a bunch of pads and underwear, so that's what they gave me. I was also another thing. So I used those wipes for a long time, and those really thick pads, and then I got annoyed of doing the pads because it was just annoying, because like they would fold in and they would just, they were annoying. So I switched to diapers. So I wore diapers pretty much. For the bleeding, I didn't pee in them or do any of that. I just bled in them, and I changed them a lot every time I went to the bathroom, I changed them because I bled so much. And also I still use the witch hazel wipes, because I got more witch hazel wipes once I got home, because I was still in pain. Like I couldn't walk really. I couldn't walk really. I just really couldn't do anything. The first like 2 weeks was like the most intense, because getting out of bed hurt. Like laying down, once I laid down, I was set. I could not move because I was just in pain. Like it was just all torn up down there. I was like kind of scared that I was gonna break a stitch, because you know I would move a certain way and it would hurt, and I was like, oh my god, like am I gonna, like, are the stitches gonna fall off? Because I didn't want the stitches to come off. But no, everything was good. It was fine. Another thing about the postpartum is postpartum poop. Oh my god, postpartum poop. I got one stool softener at the hospital. Just one. I was told by other people that they're gonna load you up on stool softeners. No, they just gave me one. It was one stool softener, and I was so scared to poop, so I shut down. My whole body shut down until I got home. And I think I was so scared as to what people were telling me. It hurt, but it wasn't uncomfortable. Oh my god, it wasn't like painful. It was uncomfortable, but it wasn't like that painful. Because I think it's because when I got home, I took more stool softeners, and for that whole, I think whole 2 weeks, I took stool softeners to help ease everything. And that's what I really suggest. I suggest if, you know, if after you have a baby and you are scared to poop, just take a bunch of stool softeners. That is able, of course, and it will definitely help you poop and everything. And for me, I got hemorrhoids from pushing because they push so well. But it wasn't bad. Like I didn't need anything for it. She told me, so that was good. That was the good part of it. So another thing is I used ice packs, like the ice packs they give you at the hospital. They actually gave me a few of those. I forgot to mention that. They gave me a few of those ice packs. And I also bought more from Frida and used those ice packs too, because it felt like a bruise on my crotch. A bruise. And just also another thing is I couldn't lay exactly on my back. I had to like find a certain position where I was comfortable enough to sleep. And you know, there's no sleeping the first week because you're adjusting to being a mom. And so I was very grateful to have my boyfriend help me, like, you know, with everything. He helped me shower, and he helped me change my pad and everything. I was just very grateful about that, to just help me. And my cousin, she helped me too, because it was really hard for me to do really anything. And I just felt like I just was so miserable also on top of that, because it was just, you're in pain, you want to be a mother, and you're trying to take care of your baby, and your hormones are going crazy, and it's just like, it was like really intense to have that. On top of that, you're adjusting and you're in pain, so like, I know I said that, but like, come on. And you don't sleep, because when you first come home, like the first night was crazy. My baby has colic. If you want me to do a video about colic, I'll let you know. I mean, let me know. I'll let you know. No, let me know, because we have been going through it. Also, if you have any tips about colic, I'm kind of desperate. Maybe you can just let me know. I've been Googling a bunch of stuff. But okay, yeah. So if you want to see that kind of video or an update on my son, he's 2 months. If you want to see an update on him, then also let me know. You know, those all can go in one video. But yeah, it was really hard. So I think it was because it was really hard on me, and I was just in pain and felt like I was just kind of useless, because my boyfriend, he did everything, and I just kind of laid there. I got the baby blues, and before I left the hospital, they did tell me that was totally normal. They told me that happens. It's when your hormones are all crazy, and like they do eventually adjust, and everything does turn out well. So far I did not get postpartum depression, which I'm very grateful of, but I did get baby blues. I was very emotional. I was very scared about him. Like I couldn't sleep because I was so worried about him, and just like I think what didn't help is that I was in pain. But yeah, I had baby blues, and I'm grateful that they went away, and I'm pretty good right now, and happy, and just in love with my baby. And well, I was in love with my baby even with baby blues. I know some people feel different. I wanted him near me, and I wanted him all the way. Like I just was so worried about him, and I was on top of that, I was on pain. I said that, but I know. But yeah. So also, let's move on to my belly. When I got induced at 39 weeks and 5 days. I was a couple days off of 40 weeks, 2 days off 40 weeks, and I really did not have a big belly. It's because I have a long torso, but yeah, I did not get huge like some people do. Everybody's different. They were really concerned about my baby, because I had to have like a growth chart. They always had to check on him. I had more ultrasounds than like a normal pregnant woman that doesn't have, like medical issues, because my baby was healthy. They were just worried that it wasn't growing correctly, but he was. But My belly has extra skin. Postpartum is I got stretch marks on my boobs, on my thighs, in between my legs, and on my butt, and on my back. I'm not doing anything about them. They're fine. I mean, I pushed a baby out. I mean, I carried a baby for 9 months. I mean, that's pretty amazing for me. I left my belly ring in for too long, so I have like a brown spot on my belly where it like stretched. And yeah, no, I'm pretty happy with actually my after belly. I thought it was gonna be like after birth, I thought it was gonna be like a big belly, but it went down pretty fast. Like it was like, my stomach went down in like 3 days after giving birth. It was like back to almost normal, except my hips are wider. That's the only difference I have, is my hips are wider, and I went up 2 sizes. I was a 5, now I'm a 7 in pants. Shirts still stay the same, did not give boobs at all. Like even when it was filled with milk, which I'm still filled with milk, but like after I started like leaking, they did not get huge. Like they got like a little big. I got a little bigger, I got a little boob now, not too much boob. But yeah, so now I can show you my stomach. Let's see if I can. So this is my belly 2 months after having my baby. I have a little pouch here now that I didn't have before. It's a little bigger, but I'm pretty happy with it otherwise. I'm pretty happy with my belly. I still have the line, and I didn't get the line until after giving a birth to a baby. Like it was kind of weird that I got it like after, but you know, everybody's different. And this is a line because I was slouching like this. But yeah, no, this is my belly after. I have extra skin and stuff because my belly used to not be able to do that, and my hips are wider. But yeah, this is my belly. I'm pretty happy with it though. I mean, I grew a baby. Come on. For it to go down like this much is pretty great. It's getting dark, so let me just say this real quick. Okay. So let's talk about my 6-week appointment also. For 6 weeks, you know, you can't clean yourself, and you know the rules. Like you can't clean yourself, you can't put a tampon in, can't exercise, can't do any of that. So when I went to my 6 weeks appointment, I told her my symptoms. Like I told her like I was limping and all that stuff, and which I don't know why I forgot this part, but I have temporary nerve damage up there. That's why. She told me, she was like, you had temporary nerve damage from pushing. So yeah, that's also another thing. Also, you know, your 6-week appointment, you do you talk about all this stuff, and I was good, everything was good. But let me talk about before my 6-week appointment. I was really itchy, like so itchy. Like I was honestly kind of concerned that I had like an infection or something. So I called the OB, and I call the OB, and they tell me it's just because it's healing. Try putting hazel wipes, and I had an on-call nurse because I was considered high risk because I have asthma. She told me to put them in the refrigerator, and I put them in the refrigerator, and that helped the itching. But let me tell you, I was really itchy, and that was all the healing process. So yeah, yeah, that's also something else I wanted to add into that. If I missed anything, I'm sorry. I asked people for questions, but nobody sent me a question. If you would like me to do a part 2 and have some questions, please put them. Please put them in the comments below. That would be great. So if you want to see my face, please subscribe, and I hope you have a lovely day.